Hello there, and welcome back for another word problem. We did the problem on theoretical probability, so I want to show you how to do experimental probability. And I'm not sure why I didn't underline that, but experimental probability is probability based on data or past performance. So to do this kind of probability, you need a data source. You need somebody's research or somebody's data collection to let you base your opinions on their data or past performance. So in this one, we're looking at actual numbers that someone has collected. If the table shows the last 50 sales at a car lot, this should be a comma, and this should be a lowercase w. I just forgot all about my grammar rules. What is the best prediction for the number of Japanese cars sold out of the next 200 sales? Well, this works very much like our last one. We want to repeat this 200 times, and we're looking for the probability or the prediction for Japanese cars. And if you look at your little table here, you have the type of car and the number sold out of the last 50 sales. So 24 of them were domestic, meaning they were made here in the United States. 6 were European, made in Europe, and 20 were Japanese, made in Japan. So we want to use this data that someone has already collected. They've already done the experimental part, and we want to base our prediction on that data. But from here, it works exactly like the last problem. We want the probability or the prediction of Japanese. So we look at our table, we look at our experimental data, and remember whatever's in that parentheses will go on top, so 20, and I need the total number of cars. You can add those up, or you can just read in your problem that the total was 50. Either way is fine. But that's your bottom number. Okay? So 20 over 50 is your ratio. And I want to show you a trick here. Do you see how both of those have a 0? You can take off that 0 and shorten that down to 2/5. You don't have to do that, but you can if you would rather work with the smaller fraction. So 1 0 off the top, 1 off the bottom, that leaves me with the probability of 2 out of 5. And then we need to do that 200 times, because that's how many we want to predict. So I'm going to say 2/5 times 200 equals 80. Will likely be Japanese. Made in Japan. Now, if you want the actual probability, you have to do a little bit more. You have to say 80 over 200. So I can take 1 0 off, and I'm left with 8 over 20. That's going to get divided. So the actual probability or percentage here is 40%, which is pretty good. That's almost half. Remember, if we look at our line that I showed you about probability, where 0% is impossible, and 100% is certain. 50% is right here. It's about half and half. So that 40% would be about right there. So that line is a very helpful way to visualize the likelihood of something happening. Okay. All right. I think we have some word problems coming up, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and stop the video so you don't have to watch all of this if you don't need all of this, and I'll get those word problems on the next video.